Okay, let's start again. So you should know what type of tissue there are, and usually, there is epithelium, then smooth muscle, longitudinal muscle. This how they are made up of this tube. Blood supply is very much important, like in even more important in ureter, because look at this. There are two distinct things. There is abdominal part of the ureter. There is a pelvic part of ureter. So you can count here 8 or 9. Somebody asks you what is the blood supply of ureter. There are so many things. Like if we start from renal artery can give, the gonadal artery can give. From there it can be direct branch from aorta. This is common iliac, internal iliac, superior vesicle, uterine, mid rectal, vaginal, so many things. So we have to take light. So abdominal part is here. So abdominal part of the ureter can be given by this thing, and the pelvic portion is given by this thing, this branches. So you can, if you are observant, then what you can observe is that in the abdominal portion, the blood supply is coming medially. Look at this. All of these are coming medially. Whereas in the pelvic portion, it is coming laterally. So what does this say? If you are doing surgery, then you have to save this medial side. Okay? You don't have to open this ureter from medial side. You have to do it from lateral side. Whereas it's opposite in the pelvic. That's why it's important. So veins are not the counterpart of this. They just usually follow by the same name. So this is the importance of the blood supply of the ureter. So lymphatic, as I have said, upper and pelvis and calyces, they enter the lumbar group. Mid ureter, they pass to the internal iliac or common iliac, and the lower, they go into the vesicle or hypogastric lymph node. So these are all lymphatic. The clinical importance comes when there is malignancy. This is how you have to remove all this thing. So bladder is another structure. Look at how the bladder sits. This is a very much 3D picture of the bladder. This is urethra, it's a prostate. On top of that, there is bladder. This is the typical shape of the bladder. Usually there is peritoneum that lying at the roof and some a bit laterally. Other part is free of that. This is urachus, means it's a connection of bladder to umbilicus. The patient is in mother womb. Usually this is patent, whether in the later life it gets obliterated. It's a very complex structure, and the size is important. This capacity is important. So they will ask you what is the capacity of the bladder. Is 400 to 500. Okay, so there are so many definitions that are made on basis of this. So there is acute retention, means patient should have this 400 ml if his bladder is healthy. So if somebody has 100 ml, you can say it's acute retention until unless there is some disease of bladder. If somebody has chronic retention, then they can have up to 2 liters of urine in the bladder. That is the abnormal bladder. Thickness is also very important because of many diseases. The bladder has thick wall. So it's how it looks very messy and it's a busy slide. But one thing I want to show you here. So this is the rectum. Look at this, how closely this bladder is from posterior, and this is the prostate. So why we regularly do TR is that you put this finger here and you can just nicely feel the prostate. That's how we do. That's why we do DRE to find any anomaly in the prostate. And in oncological point in trauma, if some cancer is in rectum, so it can just go inside the bladder. If there is trauma in the rectum, then you can injure this bladder also. So this is how the 3D picture help you to understand the disease process and pathology. So when it is empty, this is actually a pelvic organ. So you cannot palpate. You can palpate bladder only when it is very full, very much full, and you can come to the abdomen. So if it is not full, then it is protected by so many fibrous band, bones, and the ligaments. So it is very much a protected organ. The ureter they have shown before they enter the bladder posterior inferiorly in the oblique manner. So two ureter entry point is they are just apart 5 centimeter only. They are very close to each other. Okay. The orifice they should sit at the extremities of this crescent shape. So this is something you have to see. There's something called interureteric ridge, and they are apart 2.5 centimeter only. So what is trigone? It's the area between this ridge, and so I think you may be thinking that I am speaking Spanish or French because you are not. I know you are not understanding anything. But what you have to do is that you should understand what is this trigone and what is this interureteric ridge and what are this ureteric orifice. So you have to see the picture and you can understand. And there are two important structures, sphincter, that is internal sphincter and the external sphincter. So that is very much important for the continence. So if they are damaged, then the patient become incontinent. So it's also a very busy slide. But what I can, so this is how the male, I put this slide to tell you. So what is the difference between male and the female? Look at it. In the male one, it's a bladder, and there is prostate, and this is rectum. Nothing more is there. In the female, there is this is bladder, this is vagina, and this is the uterus, and this is the rectum. So make this picture in your mind. If it's a gynecologist, then this is the bladder. If there's somebody is doing cesarean section, this and that when baby is here, this is very hugely distended. And if you do something wrong, then you can directly injure this bladder. And so during the PV examination, how nicely you can palpate this bladder and the uterus. But in the male, you can just palpate the prostate. So this is how the anatomical relation we can take advantage in clinical examination. So blood supply, bladder is actually very friendly organ if you treat it correctly because it has ample blood supply from superior, middle, inferior vesical artery. They are the branch of anterior trunk of internal iliac artery. This is very important. Look. So name is vesicle means bladder. This is very simple, superior, middle, inferior. So what is it arise from is anterior trunk of internal. This is common aorta. So there is aorta, there is common iliac artery and common iliac artery anterior and the common iliac, internal iliac, external iliac and the internal iliac. And that internal iliac have anterior trunk and the posterior trunk. So this vesical artery is the branch of anterior trunk of internal iliac artery. The vein is just the name of the artery. Nerve supply is very much important in the bladder. There's something called neurogenic bladder, and it's a very difficult thing to treat. And basically, there we have three supply: the sympathetic, parasympathetic, and other is a somatic. So all these things supply the bladder, and there are lymphatics. That is a vesicle, external iliac, internal iliac, and the common iliac group of lymph node. So basically, lymph node they are named after the artery. So any lymph node that is lying in the common iliac artery is common iliac lymph node. And similarly, if they are lying in the external iliac, is the external iliac. This is how they are named. So nerve supply is a very complex teaching. So basically, today you remember that there is sympathetic, parasympathetic, and sometimes there is somatic. There is no somatic. Sorry, there is no somatic supply. Only sympathetic and the parasympathetic only. So this is the question. I think you have studied in the class 10 or plus 2 level. What is the function of kidney? So this is a very famous question, and they can ask you anytime. So these are the kidney function has so many functions. So if there is kidney failure, then all these things get disturbed. I want to read it. So nephron, I think we have already talked about this one. The parts of the nephron. This is just a revision. So what are this? Glomerulus, proximal tubule, loop of Henle, distal and collecting duct. Renal corpuscles. So it's a nephron initial filtering component. It's composed of glomerulus, efferent, Bowman's capsule. So it's the same old teaching. Glomerular filters. The importance of glomerulus comes not clinically to the urologist, but it is more important for the nephrologist because they deals with the pathology at this minute level. Like they have this nephrotic syndrome, nephritic syndrome, and so many other immunological disease. So any immunological or anatomical problem at this level, it is a this is the for the nephrologist to deal with. So there is capillary, and they have endothelial basal membrane and epithelium of Bowman's capsule podocytes. So why there is protein in the urine and so many things, just because of this thing. And I think all of things are dealt before. So glomerular filtration. So the function of that is the excretory function, that is the production of the urine. So basically that is glomerular filtration. So this is the game of pressure gradient across this glomerulus, and that's why the blood circulation in the kidney is important. And this the permeability of the filtration barrier and the filtration surface. So this so-called barrier, there are so many things, podocytes and so many. Somebody has renal failure, somebody has immunological disease. So if this filtration part is disturbed, then they develop all those kind of things. So this is a slide from physiology book. So what is the pressure gradient? What is efferent? What is efferent? I think you all know this one. I think we come to the last slide. So welcome to urology. So if there is any question, then you can ask me. Anything you want to ask? So it's just the highlight of the whole field in the urology from that physiological or anatomical point of view. So this is just a start. I try to cover the different range in the urology. If there is any confusion, then you can ask me right now. Otherwise, you can ask me when you meet me. Anybody, any query, any question? I couldn't get it, and please repeat the question.
सर यूरोलॉजी र नेफ्रोलॉजी में के फरक छ यूरोलॉजी सर नेफ्रोलॉजिस्ट हुन्छ नि
Exactly, again, okay. So gross difference is, I've always told you that there used to be, maybe in the Hippocrates era, there is only one thing. So there's no difference. With the time now we have divided the medical field into medicine and the surgery. Okay. So you know what is different in medicine and the surgery? The medicine people, they don't do surgery. They treat the disease with giving medicine and doing all the things. Surgeons, what they do, they operate and do some procedures. Now with the time, in these last 200 years, there is cardiac surgery, lung surgery, hepatic surgery, GI surgery. Similarly, there is surgery of the kidney, ureter, bladder, genital organ. So the surgical field that is dealing with surgical problems in this kidney, ureter, bladder, and genital organ is urology. Actually, it should be called as urosurgery, but traditionally people used to call it as a urology. So that is only the confusion. Otherwise, the medical part of this subject is the nephrology. That means there are diseases which can be corrected without doing surgery. So that is dealt by the nephrology. So what are they? Like nephrotic syndrome, nephritic syndrome, sometimes UTI, so many other SLE or immunological diseases. So they are dealt by the medical people or the nephrologist. And what the urologists do, they do the surgical part. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other question or query?
Silence, sir.
So you don't expect to learn all the urology in one lecture. So from this lecture, you just get the stimulus and the outline only. So rest of the things, you have to read it day in and day out. And if there is any confusion, then you can just come and ask me. Okay.